Welcome back to the Squat Crew RC channel. As you may have seen already in our social media, a 1/18 scale mini RC crawler, the Ascent-18. So make sure you check that video if you haven't watched it already. And if you liked it, don't forget to like it, smash that like button. Same with this video too, and please subscribe. Well, we made a few small changes. It's really just personal preference because right out of the box, it drives so well. Who doesn't like free mods, especially on a very inexpensive RC? We're just gonna show you a couple of simple mods that you can do without spending any additional money on such an inexpensive yet capable vehicle. I moved the shocks more inward. Normally in stock form it comes mounted on this in the rear. In the front it comes mounted to the second hole from the left, if you're looking at it in this direction. The goal that I had for this was to move more of the weight forward without spending any additional money on the vehicle. Keeping costs low or to a minimum or $0. Took the ESC, which was normally here with a plastic, it was affixed to a plastic tray, some putty, adhesive putty of some kind. I removed that, easy to peel off, and I placed it on this slider here, above this slider. It's a 50-50 truck as far as weight balance, weight bias, front to rear, 50-50. I want to get closer to 60-40. I don't have a scale, so I won't know for sure, but I'm just going to feel just already it's tilting forward when I kind of pick it up from the middle, okay? That's not just because of ESC, it's because of the battery. ESC was moved, and I did add a few wheel weights. These wheel weights are what you use when you're balancing the wheels of your car. Well, I've had these forever. I said, let me repurpose it and try it on here. They're 7 grams a piece, or 1/4 of an ounce. And I decided to try that on this. It's Velcro solution. Not my favorite solution for anything like this. It's cheap. We have a ton of this here at home, and I just put it on the slider on top of the weight. The reason I did that is because I want to be able to still access these screws as needed. And I have this extra weight here. Again, as you can tell, this extra weight is placed more forward, while this one's more towards the middle. I'll put that back on here. Okay, the other thing I did was relocate the battery forward too. The battery in stock mode, is, if you know, is located here on a battery tray. I got rid of the battery tray and I Velcroed the battery, as you can see, to this slider here. Again, I cut 2 pieces so I can still have access to the screws, and we're good to go. And I like to mount this somewhat forward also. As you can see, I left some overhang here. We'll see how that works out, but I did that just because I have overhang on the other side, just to get some sense of balance, so that weight's more forward as well. And then I have a wheel weight up here on top of the front plate. I don't know if it's needed, but it's there. It's another 7 grams. Like I said, they're 7 grams each. It's really front heavy now. I would be surprised if this isn't closer to 60-40. Yeah, and that's it. As far as weight distribution, that's all I did. The last thing I did, tried to lower the center of gravity, and how I did that was these 2 screws are normally down in the bottom holes. The bottom of this skid plate is normally dropping in stock form a little below the line of the slider. The goal of relocating these 2 screws is to raise the skid a little bit higher, and what that achieves is a little bit more clearance, dropping the vehicle's center of gravity. Obviously you have to access this area because normally it's covered with these boat sliders, as they call them, and that's by removing the 2 screws that are up here. That's why I wanted access to that. So you'll have to remove the 2 middle screws that were in there. Here's one of them. There's 2 here. Obviously you have to remove that, and then unscrew these 2 from the bottoms, and then you do that on both sides, and then you have to push the skid up so it's flush with the sliders, so that the bottom of the skid lines up with the link and the top hole here. Top hole screw there, through the chassis frame, through the link, to the bottom hole of the skids. Of the skid, sorry, just one skid. All the skid holes, all 4. You unscrew these 2 screws that were originally from the bottom holes. You have to take these 2 center ones off too and leave them off. Do that on both sides and just gently, you know, it doesn't take a lot of force, just push the skid up. It takes some patience and coordination. Screw through the slider, obviously, through the chassis rail. As you can see, it's coming out of the top hole of the chassis rail. This is, the vehicle's upside down now. In through the link and to the bottom of the skid, the bottom hole of the skid. So that is another free mod. What that does is clears this area to give you more clearance. You do drop the center of gravity, I think, if physics are correct, slightly as well, which can be a benefit. Now, it's not necessary. You don't have to do this. Depending on what you're driving on and your driving style, you should be fine box stock. I mean, we were driving it stock, as you can see in the videos before this video, how well it did, and everything was fine. But I figured we'd try this too and see how it performs, dropping a center of gravity, moving weight forward. Hopefully, it might climb just a little better. See how she crawls. This is a really tough part of the climb here for all our RCs. So normally that's not the best line, so I'm gonna back off a little bit and try and come up the left side. Should be fine here. There we go. Nice. Piece of cake. I'm driving with my left hand, which I'm not very good at. I mean, using just a thumb steering basically is what I'm saying. So sorry if my moves look a little abrupt. I'm holding the camera on a tripod with my right hand. Climb that just fine. Pretty simple setup, guys. Hope this video was helpful. If you liked it, don't forget to smash that like button. And if you want to see more shenanigans from Ann and I and the squat crew, subscribe. See you in the next video.